guys, welcome to lesson number 3 of the series of 10 basic guitar lessons brought to you by TheGuitarLesson.com. I'm Tom Fontana, and if you remember, in lesson 2 we learned a bunch of chords, how to fret them correctly, so I hope you've been practicing those fingerings, because today we'll be learning how to change in between those chords. And really this is an exciting point in your learning how to play the guitar, since this is where you start making real music, so it'll be a really fun lesson. Now, chord changing, it can be one of the most challenging aspects of learning how to play the guitar. When first learning the guitar, just getting those fingerings, those chord fingerings to be able to form and just play the chords properly with all the notes ringing true can be a challenge in itself. Not to mention changing in between them and actually hitting the notes that you want to hit. Now, I just want to tell you that all guitarists struggle with this in the beginning. I did, Eric Clapton did, nobody has ever picked up a guitar and instinctively knew how to change from a D to a G. But the good news is that it gets easier with time. You just have to get your fingers used to it, and it takes practice, but soon you'll be doing all these chord changes automatically, and you'll never forget them. It's like riding a bike. And the best way to learn is really by doing, so let's do it. Let's start with a shared finger chord change. A minor to C major, for example. Now hold down the A minor, and we'll change to C major from there. Now all you have to do there is lift your third finger and move it up to string A, fret 3. And you're at C. Now back to A minor. Start out slow, then build speed. And you can strum as well. Okay, great. So that's your first chord change. It's pretty simple, since all you have to do to get from the A minor to the C major is move one finger over. Now just practice that, and remember to always make sure that each string rings clearly, that your fingers aren't touching any of the other strings. They shouldn't be touching, otherwise you'll deaden the strings. And just do it slowly at first, and build speed as you get more confident. Good. Now let's look at changing from the A minor to the E major. So fret the A minor. You'll move all your fingers up one string, starting with your first finger and end up at E. So you'll just move each finger up one string. So you're in A minor, lift your first finger and move it up to string G, fret 1. Now lift your other two fingers, both at the same time, and just move them up one string from where they were. And just practice this. Okay? And you can add single strums. So remember to use your first finger as an anchor when changing in between these chords. And just position the other fingers after you move the anchor, okay? And also, make sure you don't take your fingers apart if you don't need to. It just really wastes time and energy. So whenever you can, just keep your fingers in the same position and just change like that. Okay, good. So pause the video here if you need to and just practice that a bit. And now let's move on to another easier chord change, the E minor and G major. So hold E minor, move your second finger over to fret 3 string E, and just place your other fingers onto the bottom strings at fret 3. Now with strumming. So you'll want to practice that as well, along with all the other chord changes. And I want to teach you a very popular chord progression that literally hundreds of songs use, maybe even thousands. Actually, we'll be using it in the next lesson as well when we learn our first song. But good things come to those who wait. So for now, let's just learn how to change in between chords, okay? So we'll be playing G major, D major, and C major. Okay, so this is a very popular chord progression. Loads and loads of songwriters use it, from Johnny Cash to Guns N' Roses. It's a 1-4-5 chord progression, but you don't really need to know what that means at this stage. We'll learn about that in a future lesson. So let's just see the chord changes. Play a G major, lift all fingers and move into a D by placing your first finger down first. It'll be your anchor again. The same for C, your index finger moves first, then back to G, and again, your first finger moves first. And at first, you'll be thinking about where to put which finger. But if you practice the individual chord fingerings enough, the chord changes will get much, much easier, since your first finger will move first, and the rest of your fingers will just naturally line up, shaping the chord shape that you want to arrive at, okay? It also helps to envision your next chord before it changes. So don't think about it at the moment of changing, but a bit before. So your fingers are already getting ready for the next chord, and your brain's already passing little impulses to your fingers. So practice the G, D, C progression slowly for now. Then a bit faster. And just speed up when all your strings are ringing clearly. This will take a while, and I don't want to rush you. You don't need to rush. It's very, very important that you advance at your own pace. And remember that playing slow and clean is always, always better than fast and sloppy. So just practice these chord changes. Try to get all the strings to ring clean, and you know, just burn those fingerings into your mind. That's really the basic element of all this. Okay, and once you get that down, you'll be able to play your first song. We'll learn that in the next lesson. It'll go like this. Great, there you go. But first, really, you really have to learn the fingerings and changes. I just can't emphasize that enough. So again, make sure all your strings are ringing clean and you're not muting any strings by accidentally touching them. Use your first finger as an anchor and keep your fingers together whenever possible during a chord change, and you know, just have fun. Once your fingers start hurting, just stop. Take a rest and try again later. There's no point in overdoing it whatsoever. It just wouldn't be enjoyable that way. Your fingers will start developing calluses with time, so they won't hurt anymore. Don't worry about that. That'll take about a couple of weeks. It goes pretty quickly. Now, I know this is all hard at first. Every single guitarist went through it, but really just know that you're building on a very solid foundation of guitar knowledge here, and these skills that you learn now, they'll be yours forever, okay? So just keep that in mind. We'll be building on these techniques later on, and not just in the basic lessons, but also in the songs we'll be learning later on. And the best way to learn is by doing, so go practice now. And once you're ready, download the next lesson from TheGuitarLesson.com. That'll be the 4th lesson out of the 10 basic lessons. And we'll be learning your first song, actually, so it'll be a lot of fun. Okay, go back, practice, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.